everybody think you dead and gone. You got a damn superpower at the moment, man. You're invisible. Element of surprise is the biggest advantage there is. And you got that in spades right now.
So what is Unique's next move? How does he plan to attack Rock? What does he do with OC? What was he doing over here at Kanan's earlier on in the episode when he bumped into Crystal? And who will his alliances be going forward for the rest of Season 4? Those are the questions we are going to be diving deep into in this breakdown for all things Unique, with where we are with the story arc after the events of episode 403. They also on Friday dropped the news about Lamar Jackson being casted for Raising Kanan. I do believe it's only one episode, but we are going to take a look at his character, his alliance with Unique, and where he could potentially fit into the storyline. There's also a few quotes I do want to run through where Joey Badass spoke about his character turning from the calm, charismatic, well-calculated fly character to a more unhinged character. Definitely something we've seen in 402 and 403, especially with our Richard and Sonny kill in 403. But we're definitely going to get into all of it for Unique in all things Raising Kanan Season 4. Now, we actually caught up with Unique in 401. It took him around 3 months to get back up on his feet. He needed help from Early Tyler and the vet. His scar was still very raw and fresh. He was still suffering from his injuries. He was battered and bruised, not just physically, but also mentally. There were no signs of any kind of memory loss, but this was someone who was locked away for a very long time, in his own thoughts, not knowing why his brother attacked him, who was working with him, why, and what was going on in the streets. A bit later on, when he was able to get back up on his feet, we did see him moving towards the end of 401, where he was scoping out various different situations. But throughout that whole time, even at this moment in time where we see him in 402 and 403, Unique still isn't thinking clearly in terms of what happened to him and how everybody conspired against him, because that's what he thinks. He thinks Rock and the Thomases worked with Ronnie to take him out, but if he were just to think a little deeper, he'd remember Ronnie hated Rock's guts.
Fuck Rock.
Now, there is no way a person like Ronnie would ever work with Rock. We have seen enemies work with each other before, but Ronnie is old school. He absolutely hated Rock's guts. But this is what Joey Badass recently had to say on Unique. We're used to seeing Unique in a certain light, and it was dope to be like, okay, let's reimagine this character. Let's take the calm, charismatic, well-calculated fly character and make him unhinged. He's in a space where he hasn't communicated with anyone, and he's left to his own thoughts, and then he's kind of started to creep back into the real world to kind of get a recon on what's going on. He's seeing it from the wrong perspective, and it is informing his decision making in the wrong way. So clearly, we definitely know as we're watching as the audience, we can see with the way Unique's moving at this moment in time in 402 and 403, he definitely is unhinged. He's got that killer born inside of him, just like the older Kanan's narration mentioned.
Soldiers are trained, prepared, just like a performer. They're taught that shit. But an artist is natural. That talent is God-given. And it's the same for a killer. See, it's real simple. Soldiers are made, killers are born.
So the moves with Andre in 402 and then at the beginning of 403, which was in the same evening, crazy he got rid of 3 in one evening. He definitely is unhinged. On the Richard and Sonny kills, this was harsh to say the least, because they were just the front at the Chinese restaurant. They're not exactly in Rock's inner circle making decisions or were working against Unique, they were none the wiser. But you go back to Joey Badass's comments and we can definitely make sense of why Unique is doing what he's doing. He's unhinged, he's a killer, he wants to break Rock's empire piece by piece, and he's not going to stop at anything. Anyone can get it at any moment. For example, towards the end of 401, if Shirley hadn't come out when she did, then we would have also said goodbye to Lou. But that brings me on to Kanan, because the one way to get to Rock is to get to the prince, and I do think Unique knows that. Now I think the first question we have to ask around this situation is, why was he here at Kanan's apartment earlier on in the episode? In my breakdown for 403, we went through how it could have been a potential red herring. Could he have been here to potentially scope the place? Could he have been here to just see where Kanan lives, where he is, or could he have come to see someone else living in the same complex? I can definitely see why the writers have done what they've done. They really do want to confuse the audience. They want us asking this exact same question. They want to play on that theory where many believe he could actually be Breeze. I can definitely see why the writers have done it, but I still do believe it has to be a red herring, especially because I find it hard to believe that he's later bursting into Kanan's apartment knocking OC to the ground and holding him at gunpoint, where he may be looking to rob the place potentially. Why would he be here attacking OC if he is working with Kanan? Let's wait and see, because it definitely is strange. It definitely makes us ask a lot of questions which the writers definitely want. So definitely want to keep an eye on, because I'm sure they will come back around to it and answer the question one way or another. Now, in terms of his next moves, let's start with early Tyler. When someone normally plays between two rival enemies, we've seen this before, it really doesn't end well. I don't think early Tyler is playing between both as such, but he is taking money from Marvin in exchange for information, and he's also team Unique, or rather he's team anybody who basically pays him. I put him on my death prediction list last week, and based on what we saw in 403, nothing has changed my mind. In fact, it's just reinforced my opinion. It's just at this moment in time, Unique is paying him way more. It really is as simple as that. I mentioned in my breakdown last week, what if Rock and Marvin come to early Tyler with a bigger briefcase? Where would early Tyler's loyalties lie then? This Unique is very dangerous. You really don't want to be caught slipping where he thinks you're working as his enemy. I mean, just like we went through in terms of Joey Badass's quotes, he's seeing a lot of things from the wrong perspective, and it is informing his decisions in the wrong way. Now on the flip side, the same also goes for Marvin. He's someone who's done taking shit in season 4. I'm sure the blood, fists and bullets are just getting started with Marvin. We've probably not even kind of reached the tip of the iceberg. And if he were to find out that early Tyler was the one who helped Unique, and he never gave him the information even after Marvin gave him a little something something, I wouldn't be surprised to see Marvin coming here, grab a wrench, and absolutely smash his skull in. Marvin's also a character who's done being betrayed after the whole Gerald situation in season 3. So those are two different perspectives to the situation with early Tyler. I can see one where Unique turns into the German Shepherd, or if Marvin finds out early Tyler was the one who helped Unique, I can definitely see Marvin coming to pay him a visit. So that's early Tyler. Let's move on to Unique making a couple of new alliances in the form of potentially Damon, Phil Russo, and also E-Tone, played by Lamar Jackson. Now this is something we've been through in terms of how we could be making a move with Damon, which is what we broke down in my trailer breakdown for episode 4. So I am going to keep this one short, sweet, and to the point. But in short, Damon was promoted by Rock in season 2, but with her being forced to bring in Unique on board by Sal Buscemi onto her New Jersey operation, it then pushed Damon down the pecking order. Now, he wasn't happy to be second in command to Unique at that time in season 2, so soon after getting his promotion, so he left. Now, Unique was standing right here where it happened, and so he definitely knows Damon would have a bone to pick with Rock, so that's one alliance I can definitely see him making in 404. The other is E-Tone, played by Lamar Jackson. Now on Friday evening, it was announced that Lamar Jackson has been casted to play a small role in season 4 as E-Tone. He's said to be a deadly dangerous character, and you really don't want to be getting on his bad side. Now we do have to mention, he's only said to be in one episode in season 4, so I don't think he's going to be playing too big of a role. However, this alliance along with Damon could very well set Unique up on the right path in terms of building his new crew, building an army to take over Queens, giving him the connections and giving him a foundation to then build upon. That's something that he didn't have in season 3, and we are going to get to that in just a moment. But that's Damon and E-Tone. Let's move on to Phil Russo.
You can't be dropping bodies. I want to look like I never left.
Now, we've got Unique saying he wants to look like he never left, but Phil Russo's warning him he's making way too much noise. He's dropping way too many bodies in the streets. Maybe he's already hit Rock's transportation and that's made even more noise. That's something we still haven't seen, but we're going to see him paying Phil Russo a visit. Maybe this is his new connect, although it is going to be interesting in terms of where Unique sets up his operation and how this changes the dynamics of the hierarchy in the Italian crime families. They're said to have an existing arrangement over territory, and I assume Phil Russo's territory is out in New Jersey, not Queens. Does Phil Russo also have a bone to pick with Stefano after the Sal Buscemi death? That's something to think about. It is something we could see play out in the background, because just like I mentioned for Marvin in his character breakdown, in terms of how Stefano could potentially be using Marvin, could Phil Russo also start using Unique to kind of fight his battles? These mafia bosses are really crafty, so I really wouldn't put it past them, but definitely another alliance to add to the list for Unique. That's Damon, E-Tone, and Phil Russo. Now beyond his alliances, I think it's probably going to be around episode 5, which is going to be the most likely reveal where Rock finds out Unique is alive, and then it's all about Unique making the next moves. We know he's got the element of surprise at this moment, he's got the advantage, and he's going to be making all of these moves with Damon, E-Tone, and Phil Russo in the shadows. He's going to be building back up in the shadows as a ghost, and by the time he reveals himself, he's going to be in a real position of strength. I asked the question in my breakdown for episode 4, who do you guys think is going to be the real winner come the end of season 4? Who's going to be wearing the crown?
Only one king could rule the kingdom, me. I'm betting on you.
Now when you actually think, Unique hasn't really had many wins when you kind of look at the series as a whole. In season 1, Rock definitely had his number. He was pretty much on the back foot, and she also set him up for the Detective Howard shooting a bit later on. In season 2, he started his time in jail, cleverly working his way into the New Jersey operation with the help of Sal Buscemi. However, by the time season 2 came to an end, he lost his entire crew, including his right-hand man in Worrell. He started season 3 with pretty much nothing. He had no crew, no product, no connect, and he had to build back up from ground zero. Rock may have been out the game at that moment in time, but he found it really tough to build back up. And then in 305, he was taken out by Ronnie. So when you kind of think about the entire series as a whole, where are Unique's wins in raising Kanan? He really hasn't had a major win, but that's why I do feel like he is due one at any time, which is why I think it could change in season 4. It really is about time something went his way, irrespective of whether you think he deserves it or whether you think it should go his way. I think this season with his return, the chaos that he's causing, the fact that he's got this element of surprise, his alliances that he's going to be making in the shadows, him working as a ghost, the moves that he's going to be making in the shadows, I think by the time Rock figures out Unique is alive, I really do believe he's going to be in such a strong position and growing even stronger. She won't even know what's hit her. She won't even know how to stop him, and that's not even taking into consideration all the issues that she has at this moment in time. Her personal issues, her relationship with the Thomases, Marvin lying to Rock, her operation being hit. Can she sustain her operation and make this deal with the other crime bosses to become the supplier, not the supply? And then you've got Kanan kind of working behind her back. Unique definitely has the element of surprise, and that's what I think is going to lead him to victory in the short term in season 4. But that's a breakdown of where we are at this moment in time with Unique's story arc, and also his next set of moves. I do think come the end of season 4, he will be wearing the crown. But let me know your thoughts on Unique in terms of what you think his next move will be. What do you think he's done with OC? And what do you think he was doing at Kanan's apartment earlier on in the episode? Drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.